Welcome to Office Hours with IB Season 2, Episode 9, Why Most Businesses Stop Growing and What Founders Must Fix. First, hello, everyone, and welcome back to Office Hours with Iyabo. This is the space where we explore the realities of building companies, the leadership, the strategy, and the difficult decisions founders have to make along the journey. One of the patterns I have observed across many organizations is that businesses often grow successfully in the beginning, but eventually growth slows down. The founders work harder, the teams become busier, yet the company does not seem to move forward at the same pace. Today, I want us to explore why this happens, and more importantly, what founders must change if they want their companies to grow beyond that stage. The founder becomes the bottleneck. One of the most common reasons businesses stop growing is that the founder becomes the bottleneck. In the early days of a business, founders are deeply involved in everything. They make most of the decisions. They solve most of the problems. They carry much of the responsibility. This is natural in the beginning. However, as the company grows, something must change. If every decision still flows through the founder, the organization eventually slows down. The business becomes limited by one person's time and capacity. This idea is explored very clearly in the book, The E-Myth, Revisited. The book argues that many founders behave like technicians, people doing the work, rather than entrepreneurs who design the systems that allow the business to run. End. Until founders move from doing the work to designing the organization, growth becomes extremely difficult. Companies need systems, not just effort. Another major reason businesses stop growing is the absence of scalable systems. Many businesses grow through energy, determination, and personal effort, but effort alone cannot scale an organization. Real companies grow through repeatable systems for operations, hiring, customer experience, financial management. Without systems, the organization becomes more chaotic as it grows. This challenge is addressed in the book Traction, which introduces the Entrepreneurial Operating System, EOS. The central idea is that companies need clarity in three areas: vision, people, processes. When these three areas are aligned, organizations gain traction and growth becomes more sustainable. Without that structure, businesses rely too heavily on improvisation, and improvisation eventually reaches its limits. Hiring leadership too late. Another reason companies stop growing is that founders delay building strong leadership teams. In the early stages, founders often try to do everything themselves. They manage operations, they lead strategy, they handle key decisions. But scaling a company requires distributed leadership. A business cannot grow beyond the capacity of its leadership team. This idea is strongly emphasized in Good to Great. Jim Collins explains that great companies focus first on getting the right people on the bus before deciding exactly where the bus should go. Strong organizations are not built by strategy alone. They are built by the quality of the people who lead them. And founders must eventually shift from being the primary driver of the business to being the architect of the leadership team. Losing strategic focus. Common challenge is the loss of strategic focus. As businesses grow, opportunities appear everywhere. New products, new partnerships, new markets, new ideas. While growth creates opportunity, it also creates distraction. Some companies stop growing, not because they are doing too little, but because they are trying to do too many things at once. This idea connects strongly with the concept described in essentialism. Essentialism argues that progress often comes from eliminating the non-essential rather than adding more complexity. Great organizations are often built through focus, discipline, and clarity about what truly matters. Founders must evolve as the company grows. Perhaps the most important insight is this: the leadership that starts a business is not always the leadership that scales it. As companies grow, founders must evolve. They must learn new skills. They must think more strategically. They must build stronger teams. They must design systems that allow the organization to function independently. This journey is described beautifully in the book, The Hard Thing About Hard Things. The book reminds us that building companies is not just about ideas or strategy. It is about navigating difficult leadership, challenges often without clear answers, and founders who succeed long-term are those who continue learning and adapting. Closing. Reflection: if your business has stopped growing, it may not be because the market is too difficult. It may not be because competition is too strong. Often the real challenge is organizational. The company has reached a stage where it requires stronger systems, stronger leadership, stronger strategic focus, and founders must be willing to evolve alongside the organizations they are building out. You for joining me for this episode of Office Hours with IB. If you are a founder or leader navigating the journey of building a company, I hope these conversations provide insight and encouragement. Until next time, keep building with intention and keep learning. Welcome to Season 2 of Office Hours with IB, where every setback is a setup for your next success. Let's stop building to impress and start building what lasts. I'll see you next Monday. Subscribe now and join me next Monday, same time, same space, for another powerful session to fuel your week as a founder.